It's that time again where I remove the green screen and talk about something that isn't a specific piece of media, but a concept. So, as the title says, franchise fatigue. It's a thing. I denied it for years, I think is the best way to say it, until very recently. And my previous viewpoint was, if you're not enjoying media, why are you continuing to watch it? Like, just choose to not do that anymore. It's very simple. And on paper, yes, it is. But when we're in this sort of ecosystem of, if you don't watch this thing, you're going to be confused about the next thing, then it does become, like I've said before in other videos, homework and things like that. This should have been the key that I was starting to get that fatigue. But I am behind on a few things and I'm not massively bothered. I haven't done videos on some of the things I have watched because I don't see the need. I don't know what to say about it. The last video I did in the Marvel sphere, I believe, was Loki Season 2, which deserved it. It did a really clever thing with the story. It was well made, well acted, etc. And I really did enjoy it. And I thought it was interesting how they brought this idea of the world tree now becoming the timelines. Brilliant. Love that. And because I wasn't so versed in this era of comics, I didn't make a connection to the God of Stories idea. Love that too, if that's what they're doing. If not, still, it was really satisfying to me, even without that. The last DC thing that I can remember watching was probably Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And yeah, I don't feel compelled right now to watch more on that side. I haven't seen Blue Beetle. I haven't seen Aquaman 2. I haven't seen the Peacemaker series, even though I'm really interested in that. That sounds really good. And there was a little nod to it at the end of Shazam! Fury of the Gods, but I didn't feel... Again, I'm not feeling the pressure, even with John Cena, dancing, intros, all that kind of stuff. I don't feel that compulsion. Especially if they're upending everything anyway. Like, it might not matter anyway. But on the Marvel side, I've seen the Marvels. Didn't think there was much to talk about. It was okay. I enjoy Iman Vellani as usual. I'm not one of those people who hates Brie Larson and things like that. But it just didn't wow me. I watched What If Season 2. I watched the first 2 around the time of release, but I wasn't committing myself to 9 days over the Christmas period where everything's weird and you don't know what day it is and you smell of cheese because you're full of cheese. And if you've got lactose intolerance, that's even worse. Everyone can smell that you're full of cheese. But I just didn't feel that compulsion. I did watch it, when I got a break between stuff I was doing. I was like, oh, I'll catch up on it. They're only about half an hour each. But even for that, half an hour, and Jeffrey Wright's voice as the Watcher, and the idea of the Guardians of the Multiverse, all this kind of stuff that's normally very interesting, I wasn't compelled, and I didn't think a video on it would really do much. There's not much to say. I watched the first episode of Echo. That's it. They all dropped at once. There's only 5 episodes. I've watched 1. I don't feel the compulsion. And this one is one of the sadder ones for me, because I enjoyed her introduction in Hawkeye. I thought it was an interesting character. We have someone who's, hard of hearing, deaf, and is physically disabled with the prosthetic. So, disabled representation in a meaningful way in the MCU, yes, please. I'm here for it. But even that isn't making me switch on. Vincent D'Onofrio, for crying out loud. That man is amazing. I've seen him do so many roles. My first introduction, like many of my age probably, was Men in Black, Edgar. I know Full Metal Jacket and things like that exist, but I hadn't seen that before Men in Black because of how old I was. So, yeah, for a lot of people of my age, that was our introduction. And then I've seen him in other things popping up here and there, and he's great. He can do so much. And this isn't my thing. I've got it from somewhere else. Unfortunately, I can't remember. It might be Fact Fiend, because I know Carl is also a massive Vincent D'Onofrio fan. But the fact he plays Kingpin is quite breathy. So rather than being the physical imposition, which he still has, Vincent D'Onofrio is 6 foot odd, and Kingpin's I think about 7 or something like that in most representations. But he's a big guy. But his thing is his voice is so quiet that he makes you come closer to him. It's not about, I'm going to beat you. It's not that imposition. It's like, come here, listen to me. Bang. That's when he gets you. Lulls you in. That's power. And even that is not swaying me. That is not bringing me in to the fold. And it's sad because for the most part, I enjoyed this kind like for years, I was one of those people who's like, it'd be nice if we could see, these superheroes on the big screen and people didn't think it was weird. Now we've got too much of it, and streaming doesn't help that. I will definitely say that's what's causing problems, I think. Because companies like Disney, Marvel, etc. can just go, well, we'll throw this show out into the world. People don't like it. Oh, well, we tried. But they'll just keep pushing stuff out there. Even potentially making a loss just to say, well, you wanted your female-led superhero film in Black Widow. Not my fault you didn't like it because we shadow released it on Disney Plus and didn't tell anyone and tried to make you pay extra on top of your subscription to try and cover back some money. That's not our fault. They are just releasing, and things are perhaps starting to change, but it's a little too slow. I know full well from stuff I've read that the Blade film, which again, I've enjoyed the old ones, maybe I'll talk about them at some point. I keep saying that, I'm sure, every time I mention Blade. But at some point I will. If that's like, even on my deathbed, I'm like, I need to get a Blade video out. I will do it if I have to. But Mahershala Ali, I love the guy. I think every performance I've seen him in is great. And even that's been through rewrites, different producers and this kind of thing. And it's just a mess. And it's almost like that franchise fatigue is setting in inside the company as well now. They are kind of feeling, and obviously this is all projection, I'm not saying this is exactly what they're feeling, but it seems like they're feeling, well, we've got to get these things released and this stuff done because that's what we've promised. We've said we'll get these things, we put that phase whatever we're on now guide out. And then obviously, the allegations and everything about that against a certain character or a certain actor for a character, which is part of what they were, this whole multiverse saga is based around this character. And I did read in a similar article, might be the same one, about the idea that they were actually potentially pivoting to bringing Doctor Doom in so that they could just remove that problem. But they're all in on it to the point that they've gone, well, we know we've got these problems, but we'll keep him around. Where was this for Johnny Depp? That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it seems that franchise fatigue is even affecting the companies making this stuff. So how do we fix this? Well, I'm taking a break. I'm going to wait to watch the rest of Echo until the next thing's released. And I'm like, well, I'll have to watch that just in case there's anything referenced, so I will catch up. I'll do it that way. That's fine. But I will have had a break, unless I feel a compulsion between now and then. If I'm suddenly like, well, I should catch up with it, I'll give it a chance. But even the coming this season didn't wow me. It didn't draw me in. But that's the way to do it. Take a break. And this goes to the creators as well. So Disney, Marvel, Warner Brothers, DC, all that kind of stuff. Do take a break. Give yourself some time. Let the audience demand build back up. And one of the things that I haven't talked about with massive franchise fatigue is the Star Wars stuff, because we had a lot of series, but I was never massively bothered about all that. I haven't seen any of the stuff like, so Book of Boba Fett / The Mandalorian. None of that. Didn't see, what's the other one? Ahsoka. Because I haven't seen the Clone Wars show from years ago, which you don't have to necessarily, I'm sure, but it gives me that grounding. I haven't seen any of that stuff because it just doesn't interest me in the same way. And from stuff I've seen, it is mostly fan service. You've got stuff like them bringing back a digital Luke. Just to go, this is meant to be a show that's separate from all that. This is like, the world is bigger than the Skywalker saga, but here's the Skywalker saga folding its way in. You had the Obi-Wan. I forgot that even existed. I love Ewan McGregor. So it exists across the board. I know that's another Disney thing, which is maybe why I didn't really talk about it, but all of these things just need to take a break. Give us the chance to want it again. Give us another 5 years of it. Take a break. Then give us another 5 years of it. That's the way to do it. Have stuff like a saga that lasts a period of time. That's the way that you do this. Or the way that I would do it. Of course, I'm not an exec for a multi-billion-dollar company, so what do I know? But this is how I would do it, because I'm one of those people feeling that fatigue. So I think that break is ideal. But I've talked about this at length, and I probably repeated viewpoints because it's me. But yeah, short of repeat myself more and more, I think that's all I need to say. Just take a break, whether you're a creator or a viewer. Allow yourself to want to see these things. Bring back that joy that you had when you first, started being aware of these characters, whether it's through comic books, cartoon, whatever. Just bring back that joy. Let that happen. And until next time, as always, thank you for watching and take care.